What is abnormal uterine bleeding? This is bleeding that happens like outside of your normal period. We say 24 to 35 on average is what's considered a normal cycle. So if you're having bleeding every 21 days or every 39 days, we kind of tend to say that may warrant a little bit of investigation. And then we also want to know, like, how many days do you bleed? Do you bleed anywhere between 4 to 7, or is it longer than that? Because we usually say anything outside of 7 days, we consider abnormal. And then bleeding that's not related to your period is also considered abnormal. So let's say in the middle of your cycle, like day 15 to 19, you're having bleeding, and then you have a period again on day 28, that's not considered normal. Or if you have bleeding after sex, that's not considered normal. So what could be the causes of irregular bleeding? Well, it could be just as we talked about, like hormonal imbalances. It could be perimenopause. It could be thyroid conditions. Polycystic ovarian syndrome is another condition that we know of that can cause irregular bleeding more so. Then there are other structural causes or structural things within your uterus that can cause like irregular bleeding. So let's say you have a fibroid. Let's say you have a polyp. Let's say you have adenomyosis. These are things that can actually, like, that are structurally within the uterus that can actually cause it to bleed. Okay. And so that's important for us to evaluate when your bleeding pattern is different. Infections can cause like abnormal bleeding, things like a sexually transmitted disease, gonorrhea, chlamydia, like your cervix being inflamed can cause like abnormal bleeding. Vaginitis, like a vaginal infection, can cause it. A pelvic infection, so having like a pelvic infection, like your uterus having an infection, all these can cause like abnormal bleeding. Certain medications can cause abnormal bleeding. Precancer or cancer are other things that can actually manifest or show up as irregular bleeding. So that's why it's really important to get it checked out, because again, I've seen patients just be like, I don't have time, I'm busy, and then they end up in the emergency room, where they need a blood transfusion, and it becomes a situation where your options are much less in what we can offer than if we had been able to evaluate and assess and come up with a plan that actually works for you beforehand.